Hey, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to the Wicked Gamer and Collector. So in today's video we are going to talk about the King. So if you aren't interested about the review itself, you can always check the review. But in this video we are going to talk about the EmuELEC. So my buddy, fellow YouTuber ET Prime did a review about it. So ET Prime spoken about this new kind of software that was developed for Android boxes. And what makes this thing, and put the software on it. But what I think is really cool, and I just want to give my personal opinion about it. What is so interesting about it and what are we going to get? So that's what we're going to discuss in this video. The King, it's one of my favorite TV boxes. It's not very cheap, but it is quite powerful. Keep in mind, nothing beats the Nvidia Shield, but still, we can do more awesome stuff with this. But what is quite interesting that you really need to know. So you don't need to reinstall the firmware or the Beelink and maybe messing up your box. No, this is quite easy. You're going to set up, just like with the Raspberry Pi, you're going to set up this little SD card that is be reconfigured for the box. It just be the Beelink the King. So that is something that I really like. The Raspberry Pi, a lot of controls are supported, but I really like the Xbox version. Not only I like the comfort itself. Well, I already mentioned that the SD card is inside. You can see it comes with the Beelink boot up sequence and it instant loads up the EmuELEC. Keep in mind when you're doing this the first time, it needs quite some time to unpack and basically to install on the device itself. But what I really like about the King in combination with the EmuELEC, you have got a very powerful combination. Boot it up, this is what you're going to get. Of course, keep in mind you need to add the stuff yourself. And reconfiguration can be a little bit of pain in the ass, to be honest. You need to know what you're doing. ET Prime has a lot of great information. So I'll leave a link in the description and also at the end thumbnail. But let's talk about the, let's say the Raspberry Pi lookalike EmuELEC software. So what I really like about this is that you're losing the Android menu. So it's instant boot. So if you want to, let's say, put this thing in an arcade one up, it's a very great way. It runs Dreamcast pretty nice. And it's a very good option. Keep in mind that the Mali GPU that's inside doesn't work perfect with Dreamcast, for example. And what I know of the Dreamcast, if you're using Dreamcast or N64, part of the things are still running on RetroArch. So at the end, you need to configure a lot of stuff. PSP, I think it's the same story like a lot of these boxes. A lot of great games, a lot of things will run, for example, two-dimensional fighting games. But when you're going to get a God of War, it's very demanding and at the end it doesn't run very well. When pressing the Xbox button, the home button, you can see it running on the you can just basically running on the same PPP or whatever this stupid thing is called. I really hate the name. But if you go into the setting menu, you can just adjust it later to scale 1:1 and you can basically scale everything down. At the end, when you're playing the game, scale down with original resolution, it will run a little bit better. But at the end, it doesn't give 60 FPS all the time. So being at the PSSPP, yeah, okay, whatever. Going to the exit menu, what you can see, it boots out the emulator and then boot back into the menu. So this is what you're going to get. Sometimes you need to get out of the emulator to come back in the menu. Sometimes just instant boot back. So let's play some more games and let's see how it runs. Right, it's time to hunt with Alien vs Predator. And of course, two-dimensional arcade games are not for. You need to get to the chopper! So what I don't like about this, for example, when you're closing the content and it goes back to the main menu, alright, that is all okay, but you still need to go out of the RetroArch. You can just change it all maybe, but at the end a lot of messing around with it. Alright, so if you look at Killer Instinct, for example, it's a great example. The glitch that you see very often is not here, so they are running a pretty new N64 emulator. But keep in mind, it's not perfect at all. It still struggles from slowdowns, you can just hear it. The weird air glitch is still appearing sometimes. What I think is also very cool that over here, but just wanted to show you that with the homebrew community there's a lot of great stuff, if it's working of course, but there's a lot of great stuff that you can play. And of course Mega Drive is present and works very well. Pretty annoying. And it does it every single game I play. It's really annoying. It just basically freezes every time. And it can be fixed, of course. Alright, so this is what you're going to get with the King. It's a very cool combination because the King is very powerful. And with the AME, like if you want to build this in your arcade one-up, for example, or if you just want to have this more like retro station, it's pretty awesome. You need to do a lot of configuration, getting everything set up perfectly. So I just wanted to show you what happens if you drop some files in it and you just want to play. It doesn't work very great. It's the same for the Pi, of course. But right now you're maybe thinking, okay, I need to get a King, or maybe you have one laying around thinking I'm going to throw away my Pi. Don't do that. Yes, if you look at the Pi 3 and the King is way powerful and better than the Pi 3. But with the Pi 4 there's a lot of development. So it's a fun thing. I mean, like, I like it. There's different ways you can play now. But this is what you're going to get. Let me know what you think of this. I want to thank you for watching. If you want to have a tutorial, I will leave a link to ET Prime. He has a great tutorial for this. And thanks for watching. It would be great to have you here in the Wicked family. So consider subscribing, hit the little bell, and I will see you in my next video. I say, regards to ET Prime.